We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at the Robonic Stooges, Issue 1. This is from American Mythology in 2021. It features two stories about the Stooges. The first is Imbecile Gauntlet, written by S.A. Czech, art by Philip Murphy, lettering by Natalie Jane. The second is Fright at the Museum, written by Jordan Gershowitz, art by Jorge Pacheco, lettering by Jorge Pacheco. I have the main cover by Jeremy Kahn. Now the cover's obviously an homage to the Infinity Gauntlet. Nice touch because the first story is the Imbecile Gauntlet, and it's about an alien coming to Earth, and the Stooges are sent to figure out what's going on by Agent 000, and it turns out that there's a guy named Oregano's who has a magic gauntlet, and he is trying to retrieve all the moronic power from the universe, and once he gets Curly's idiotic powers, he will have all he needs. Now, this is a fairly short story, but it was pretty fun. It was the usual kind of Stooges goofiness. It wasn't a big epic. It took place in a junkyard, and it was a lot of fun. I don't want to get into too much of how they defeat him, but he does create a giant trash monster that they have to fight while they're also fighting with themselves. And they did transform by jumping into the trunk of a car, which was pretty cool. The second story, Fright at the Museum, features a vastly different art style, where the first art style was much more like the cartoon. This one is definitely a different type of art, and while the boys are picnicking in the park, they are told that someone's trying to rob the museum, and they go there to find a wizard, Herlin, who is trying to get a power scepter that can animate stuff. So they end up having to fight a knight, and they get kind of wrapped up with some mummies. It's a pretty crazy time, and that one gets resolved by accident mostly, and they more or less destroy this museum. There's also some bonus material about the classic cartoon and what kind of inspired this, and some favorite episodes they had. There were only 32 episodes of the cartoon, and they were all short. They were like little 15-minute things, if I remember correctly, and it only ran from 77 to 78. Now, if you're a fan of the old cartoon, you'll probably love the first story. The second one is a little bit weaker, mostly because of the art. I'm not a huge fan of that style. It does work for what they're doing because it's a little over the top and cartoonish. It's just not my favorite. But that story appears to be slightly longer. Overall, they were both really fun stories and had the same sort of gags and stunts that you would have seen in the cartoon. So if you're looking for a nostalgia trip, this is definitely going to be for you. It's got the usual kind of Stooges shenanigans and slapstick, but at the same time with a slightly superhero bent and a very 70s kind of feel, because this sort of thing was definitely big in the 70s, and I think this is a great homage to the characters, and I would pick up another issue. I'd prefer the stories were a little longer though, or there was a third story, because a lot of these are sketch oriented. You can't really go too long without the premise running thin and boring, but this was definitely well paced with lots of action and the type of Stooge nonsense you would expect. It was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely going to recommend it. So if you get a chance to check it out, or you're looking for something for the kids, this is definitely going to be a good read. I thought it was fun, it was silly, it was over the top. It's everything you'd expect from a Three Stooges cartoon. And it really fed into the Robonic Stooges stories pretty well and has a nice place there. So if you're a Stooges fan, you'll definitely want to check this out. So absolutely worth the money if you're a Stooges fan. If you're not a Stooges fan and you're not like 10 years old, you may not like it. But I thought it was a lot of fun. That'll do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, pick yourself something nice up from the Teespring store, or share the video around. If you want to support me in other ways, links to my Patreon and Streamlabs, which accepts PayPal, are in the description. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.